I'm going to be uploading 30 podcast episodes in 30 days. First off, let's lay some ground rules. Number one, I must upload an episode every single day from December 1st to December 30th. So, doesn't matter what I got going on, there will be a podcast episode uploaded between the hours of 12:01 a.m. all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Central US time. Another ground rule is that the formats are open. It can be a solo episode, guest episode, experimental episode. It could be a Just Jammin' where I do the DJ sets with Jordan. It could be a conversation with AI. The only rule is I have to upload. And the other rule on top of that is that it's got to be a minimum of 10 minutes. So even if I'm having a really busy week or busy day and I have to make an episode, it has to be at least 10 minutes long. So those are going to be the only three set rules I have for this challenge. Outside of that, I'm also allowed to record multiple episodes in a day. It doesn't have to be the day of. I just have to make sure that I upload them, one, chronologically, and two, every single day from December 1st to December 30th. So I think it'll make for an interesting challenge trying to do 30 episodes in 30 days. I mean, it'll really be pushing my creative limits, and I mean even just the time it takes to not only make these, of course, but also upload, edit, post on social media, do whatever I got to do. I'm still working full time. I'm still pursuing a master's degree. I'm still getting married in April and planning a wedding. I still want to take care of my health and my sanity. So I'm doing this challenge to push myself with this creative experiment of a podcast that I've been doing. Maybe find my style a bit. I think it's just a really cool challenge to get started. I also recently read a book called Talk to Strangers. It was by Matt, who was a part of Yes Theory. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Yes Theory on YouTube, but they do a lot of cool videos, traveling, pushing boundaries, stuff like that. And when they started YouTube, one of the first things they did is they did a series for 30 days. Every single day they did something to push themselves outside of their comfort zone. And that series really blew them up. Not saying that it'll happen to me, but it's a cool inspiration to try to push yourself to do something for a challenge like this, especially with everything else I have going on. But again, if not now, then when? So I'm sure there will be days where it's gonna really suck trying to upload a podcast. I mean, it's possible I don't even complete this challenge, but I really hope that I do. I think that I'm motivated to do so. I think I'll learn a lot in 30 days. I think also it'll be a bit more solo episodes. I might explore some different stuff that I'm interested, maybe that I haven't talked about, more psychology stuff. I know I've talked about safety science stuff, but also random stuff I'm into, like running, James Bond movies. I'm really into watches and EDC gear and traveling. And I know I've probably talked about all of these topics on some level, but maybe doing deeper dives with some solo episodes, maybe even just some more reflections on stuff I'm thinking about, stuff I've learned, stuff I know I can learn. And then, of course, any guests that I can get on would be just great. So there's no maximum time limit for any of these 30 episodes. I just have to do a minimum of 10 minutes. So hopefully it'll be some cool content. Um, Definitely a a bold decision that I'm making trying to do this challenge, but I think it will be really good for me personally, and then also, of course, for this podcast, continuing to improve my skills. I know it's making so many episodes, maybe the audio and visual, I won't have as much time to tweak and edit, but I'm really trying to get better at being on the microphone, telling stories, the way I communicate, the way I express myself, the way I talk to people and ask questions and think about topics. And, I think it's very true that some of the best, perhaps the best way to learn is to teach other people about a topic. So I think it'll be cool to talk about things that I'm interested in, maybe do some deep dives, try some different formats. I obviously don't want every single episode for these 30 days to just be me talking in front of a microphone. So I want to mix it up. I want to get guests. It'll be a fun challenge to see what I can come up with in these 30 days. So I'm excited to see what happens. Would be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried of burning out and also staying on top of all my other stuff. And I mean, my job's pretty stressful inherently. I might even do an episode on my job, what it's like being a child protective services investigator. That could be an interesting one. And but yeah, I have a lot of ideas in my head, a lot of things I want to explore, a lot of really cool things I think I can explore within this format. I think podcasting is such a cool tool and such a cool medium to try different things I mean, just the range of topics that I can talk about. And with guests, of course, it's really infinite. I like that I'm not in a specific niche, that I'm keeping it broad. And I hope that you guys like it as well. And if you've been a part of this journey at all, thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me. It does mean a lot and it does make a difference. And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a little demoralizing when you put a lot of effort into some content and it gets 10 views or 15 views. And then some other content gets a bunch more that you're like, really? That's the one? But I am, outside of the views solely, I'm not just doing it solely for that. Of course, I'm also having fun with this, and I think I have grown a lot already in these 30 plus episodes, trying to put myself out there, do something like make this podcast. It's definitely been uncomfortable at times, like it is right now, just talking alone, taking a video of myself and a microphone. It feels weird, but I've really, really enjoyed my conversations with guests. I've really enjoyed doing the Just Jammin' sets. I've actually even enjoyed some of the solo conversations. And the one prior to this, I filmed in Prague, just talking about my travel experiences. That was it. It was a little uncomfortable just setting up my camera in some public park in a foreign country and just talking. But I really like how that one turned out. I hope that anybody who watches this, if you want to do something creative, if you feel inspired, just go do it, see what happens. It'll be, if nothing else, a valuable experience to learn, whether you continue it, whether you don't. um yeah, I feel like I'm just rambling about random topics now, but 30 episodes, 30 days feels like a pretty substantial but doable challenge, especially if I'm smart about recording on the front end. Maybe if I have an open weekend, knocking out a few episodes, because there are weekends and days in my job where I'm not only on call, but also additional tasks I have to do after hours. Sometimes I'm working from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, with no real break. So those days will be difficult, but I am able to schedule uploads, which is nice, although Spotify's finicky on that. But YouTube is really good about scheduling uploads. So 30 episodes, 30 days. I would like to do it around the same time each day. I might shoot for 5 or 6 p.m. Central, but granted, that could depend. I'm gonna leave it just as long as I upload within the day. That counts. I want some guidelines, obviously, but I'm only setting 3 because this is a hard enough challenge. I want to make sure that it's flexible enough that I'm able to actually do it and complete it. But I think I think I'll learn a lot. I think there might be some really cool insights, conversations, thoughts, and hopefully it'll only be helpful for me moving forward with this podcast, kind of clarifying the direction and carving out exactly what this podcast is, who it's catering to. I think I've probably focused a little more than I want to on EDM, which I am super into, but I'm also very into a lot of other things. So trying to just balance everything a bit more. But I'm excited for all of it. Again, if you have watched, if you've texted me or talked to me or said anything about this podcast, it means so much, just that you've spent any time at all looking into this insane project I have going on here. So please, I love all the feedback. I love all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope at least a few of these next 30 episodes stand out to you, maybe provide some value, whether that's stuff that's useful for your life or at the very least some entertainment. I know I drive a lot myself for work, and I know a lot of other people do a lot of transit. So there's lots of time to listen to podcasts, to listen to stuff, and there's also a ton of different stuff to listen to. So if you spend any time listening to this one, thank you so much. I'm going to keep this first introduction pretty short. So I hit the 10-minute mark, 30 podcast episodes, 30 days. Thanks for tuning in.